Do you believe that saving money with your current income is practically impossible? Though saving money is undoubtedly easier when your income is substantial, it is entirely possible to save money on a little salary. In this video, I'll show you 7 practical strategies to save money on a limited budget. Before we begin, kindly give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel so you won't miss out on more awesome content like this. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Keep away from debt. If you want to save money even when you're earning less than you'd like, it's really important to avoid getting into any kind of debt. Debt hinders your savings efforts in 2 primary ways. Firstly, having debt translates to obligatory monthly payments. Each month, you'll need to give money to lenders, but if you didn't owe them anything, you'd have more money left in your pocket by the end of the month. Secondly, debt almost always involves recurring interest expenses. Credit lines usually have interest rates of about 3 to 5%. So, if you have a $10,000 balance, you might need to pay around $25 to $40 every month. Even though it might not seem like much, when you add it up every month, it can slowly grow over time. When you add up all the money you've paid back along with the extra fees, you start to understand how having debt can make it hard to save money on a smaller income. This problem gets even worse with credit card debt. According to the Federal Reserve's August 2023 data, the average interest rate for credit cards is 24.72%, making falling into debt an even more financially taxing endeavor. Imagine if you have the typical credit card balance for a U.S. adult, which is $5,733 as of March 2023, according to TransUnion. With that interest rate, you'd end up paying about $1,417.19 to credit card companies just in interest. So, if you want to save money when you don't have much income, it's really important to do everything you can to stay away from debt and the extra charges that come with it. Number 2. Be wise in your grocery expenditures. On average, a family spends about $1,000 every month on groceries, which is one of the bigger expenses we usually have. However, with the tips I'm about to share and some planning ahead, you can actually cut this amount in half. To start spending less on groceries each month, you should begin by planning your meals ahead of time. This approach not only guides you in a healthier direction, but also guarantees that you only buy what you really need. It's important to realize that a lot of food often ends up being thrown away, which we might not notice. A study in 2018 found out that people in the U.S. throw away about 2 pounds of food every day. If we fix this, it could lead to saving a lot of money on groceries. Also, when you plan ahead, you can buy things that are on sale. This could bring down your usual $250 a week grocery spending to around $200 or even lower. This means you'll have more money left over by the end of the month. The next step to spend less on groceries is to eat less meat. Focusing on reducing meat consumption can be an effective way to save money on groceries, considering it's often the priciest item among your purchases at the store. It's good to mention that you don't have to become a vegetarian just to save money. Instead, if you eat less meat or try cheaper options like beans, you can lower your grocery bill by a lot. Another suggestion to make your food budget simpler is to only use cash when you go grocery shopping. Many times, people go to the store when they're hungry and want to fill their carts with lots of things. This can get worse because it's easy to use credit cards to spend more than planned. A better way to handle this is to decide what you need to buy before you go, and only take the exact amount of cash you need for those things. This helps you avoid giving in to your hunger, and makes sure you make smarter choices when you spend your money. Number 3. Practice zero-sum budgeting. When you do zero-sum budgeting, your goal is to give a specific purpose to every dollar you earn, although it's not as strict as it might first seem. Zero-sum budgeting means you assign your money to different expenses, and whatever is left goes into savings or investments. Let's use an example to make this budgeting method clearer. Imagine you bring home $3,000 per month after taxes from your job. By implementing the zero-sum budgeting technique, you would distribute the entire $3,000 across various monthly expenses such as rent, car payments, fuel, groceries, and entertainment. However, Under this method, you would also establish a category for savings. Once this allocation process is complete, you would allocate the entire $3,000 to these expense categories, thereby compelling you to set aside a portion of your income into savings. This strategy is really helpful for people who often get to the end of the month and find they have no money left to save. But if you use the zero-sum budgeting strategy and stick to your budget, you can be sure that your bank account will increase over time. Number 4. Reduce your housing expenses. Whether you rent a place or own a home, the money you spend on housing will probably be the biggest part of what you budget each month. Numerous financial experts recommend that the combined total of your rent or mortgage payments, along with utilities, should not exceed 35% of your post-tax monthly income. Although housing expenses can consume a significant portion of your earnings, they provide an excellent opportunity to cut costs, which can lead to increased savings, especially on a modest income. If you're renting, there are different ways you can try to lower the amount of money you spend on housing. You can start by considering more affordable housing options, such as renting a single room in a shared home, which could fulfill your needs without requiring a larger apartment rental. If you don't want to move, you could try finding ways to lower your current rent instead. You can discuss with your landlord about using your skills to help improve the place, like fixing things, in exchange for paying less rent. You could also consider signing a longer lease if your landlord wants to keep tenants for a while. On the other hand, if you own a home, the suggestions are a bit different. While relocating might not be on your agenda to cut costs, even minor actions like conserving energy by turning off lights and reducing water consumption can yield considerable long-term savings. But the best way to help with housing costs is to think about renting out an extra room. Renting out a room in your home could give you extra money every month, helping to pay for your costs and allowing you to save more by the end of the month. Number 5. Limit your entertainment expenses. We all crave enjoyable experiences, but unfortunately, for many individuals, these come with a hefty price tag. Eating out, going to bars, watching movies, and doing other fun things can really put a lot of stress on your finances. However, the good news is that there are alternatives to this high-cost approach. You could explore ways to enjoy entertainment without spending a lot of money. Look for free or low-cost activities in your community, such as hiking, picnics in the park, visiting local museums on discount days, or attending community events. Additionally, take advantage of streaming services or platforms that offer a variety of content at a fraction of the cost of traditional cable packages or movie theater tickets. It's also important to review your entertainment subscriptions, such as streaming services, magazines, or premium apps. Consider whether you're truly utilizing all of them, or if there are any that you could do without. Cancel or pause subscriptions that you don't regularly use, and prioritize the ones that provide the most value to you. You can also share subscriptions with family or friends to split the costs. The goal is not to completely eliminate entertainment from your life, but to find a balance that allows you to enjoy yourself, while also saving money for other important financial goals. Number 6. Differentiate between your wants and needs. Certainly, spending money makes us feel happy, but when you earn less and want to save, it's important to tell apart what you want from what you truly need. For instance, you may want the newest phone upgrade, but you likely don't actually need it. Similarly, you might want a new shirt for an upcoming Friday outing, but you probably already have plenty of nice shirts to wear. When you don't have much money, it's really important to be extra careful with how you spend, and focus on buying only the most important things. So, how do you clearly tell apart between items you want and those you need? You need to categorize anything really necessary for staying alive as something you must have. This includes basic things like food, clothing, shelter, and simple transportation. While a Ferrari represents a mode of transportation, it's prudent to recognize that utilizing public transit also achieves the purpose of moving from one point to another. Wants include anything beyond basic necessities, often to improve what you have, or to get duplicates of what you own. For example, upgrading your phone solely for an extra 2 megapixels in the camera. Sure, it's not always possible to keep spending really tight all the time. If you want to treat yourself to something you like, Here's a suggestion: set a money goal, like saving $1,000. Once this milestone is reached, you can then proceed with the purchase of your desired item. This approach proves advantageous for two significant reasons. Firstly, it cultivates the practice of setting financial targets. Secondly, it gives you time to figure out how much you really want that thing. A lot of times, we buy things without really thinking and then later feel bad about it. And number 7. Automate your savings. The best way to make sure you save money, even when you don't earn much, is to set up a system that saves money for you automatically. This approach to savings has flourished due to two primary factors. First, it allowed you to precisely specify the amount you aimed to save. Also, it took away the worry about saving money, letting you focus on important things like improving skills to make more money. I often say that once you have a strong savings plan, the best way to increase your savings is by making more money. When you free up your mind, you can take on extra freelance work, making more money, and adding to your savings in the end. That concludes today's video. I hope it was informative and beneficial to you. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I welcome your feedback, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Lastly, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.